I really do value time savers, so what I'm going to do is just show you how I set up my entire front end, which consists of Vite, Vue, Tailwind, and a couple of other extensions and things to help me along my way. And we're going to go ahead and set that project up, and you can see it right now. So let me start off and I'll show you what I do. One of the first things I do, set up Vite. Set up your project, and do Vue, I do TypeScript. So if I go into here, install it, we're going to dev if I need to, but I'm actually just going to open code first. So I'm going to open code. I'm going to maximize this out. And then we're going to start working on installing Tailwind. That's one of the first things that I like to do. So I'm going to pop over into Tailwind here. We'll get that installed. So how do we do this? We're going to do npm install Tailwind CSS at Tailwind CSS pipe. And we're installing version 4 of Tailwind. So this is like the most recent version of it. Once that's installed, there's a few different steps we need to do. One of them is Tailwind Vite. So if we go into Vite config, copy this over, put it in here, Tailwind CSS, initialize that. I'm going to go ahead and import Tailwind into the CSS file now. So that's under source style. And delete everything that's in here and immediately just paste that in there. And then one of the last things that I like to do is I like to clear out the components directory, the assets directory, the app file. I like to clear this out. I usually put something in here just to make sure that this is all working correctly. Something like this, text to Excel, hello world. Delete everything in scoped. Delete the import for the component. And then we just run dev, right? Boom, dev, it's open, we have Tailwind. So if I go ahead and split the view here so you can see this, you can verify it's working like this. Cool. All right, so now that Tailwind is fully working here, and if it's not working and you're having issues with this and for whatever reason it's not working, what you can do is go into index.html and just toss this in here, and that'll usually get you the rest of the way through. But in the case of this one, I don't have that issue. But what you can do, or what I like to do, is if you didn't notice already, I have an extension. It helps me with Tailwind. Very useful, especially when you have so many different options that you can scroll through. It speeds you up. You don't have to think as hard. So that's an extension, which is called Tailwind CSS IntelliSense. Highly recommend that. Vue is one that you're going to have to install. Regardless of the amount of reviews this has, this specific extension works fine. And then I like to install Prettier as well. But the Prettier config that I specifically like to use, I pretty much like to use the same one across every single project that I do. So let me explain what I do. So Prettier is like a code formatter. It stylizes it for you. I don't like to use ESLint and all that stuff because I think it's too much work. I think it's too much time spent setting it all up. I feel like that's something that you can do at a later date when it actually you kind of give a shit more about whatever you're building, or you need to introduce more team members. But if it's you and a buddy, dude, just mock your guys' setup. It's just faster. So what I do is I install Prettier like this. I just toss it at the bottom of my package JSON. And then if I want to format everything, what I do is if I do format document with Prettier, and then boom, format it. But sometimes I like to have it on save. So if you go into your settings, you can set your default formatter. Let's see, you could do like format on save, default formatter. And usually it's like Prettier in here somewhere. I don't know if it's in this one. No. Where is it? Usually it lets me set it, but that's okay. Maybe I can do it through here. So through the command palette, maybe not. I guess it's not in there. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so if you do it, it'll let you select through here. So I'm gonna select with Prettier. And yeah, now every time I save anything, it'll format it for me, which is really nice. And I usually have like single quotes. I like semicolons. I like tab width of 4 and print width of 120. I don't need anything else. And the last one I'm going to talk about is SonarQube. This is a tool to effectively lint your code. It's an extension. So rather it being in your code base, it's as an extension, which works for me. Um, so generally speaking, this is kind of how I set up my stuff. The last thing that I like to do is when I'm starting a new application like this, I like to set up a big old flex box. Usually it's something like this. I do W screen, maybe I do like BG neutral and 50. And then I do flex column. And then this usually gets me pretty much all the way there. Like now I can start building out like my navigation bar like this. And I can do like maybe the height is, I don't know, 120 pixels or something. BG neutral 900. Yeah, like it's really fast to just set up things like this, and I don't have to think about too much as I'm building these things out. It's just a quick way to get everything written and started, so I can start kind of just building whatever I need to build. Whether that's like a website, application, whatever, it's all the same stuff at this point. But yeah, point being, very simple setup to get off the ground and hit the ground running. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy what I've said here. But yeah, this is my setup. I don't really do much else beyond this. The only other folder I might add is composables. And then usually in here, I'd add something like, I work in blockchain, so usually I do something like use wallet or something to that effect where I do composables with return like little functions like this, where it's like hook up wallet, and you just kind of span it out like this, and stuff like this. So this is probably my favorite way to write everything, and yeah, so hopefully this is useful for you. But I don't spend too much time setting up my projects. I don't think about it too much. I just make sure that the most important thing for me is that I'm able to immediately get this window on the right open and ready to roll, so that I'm not dreading trying to get this and that and the linter to work and everything else. I don't care about that. That's a waste of fucking time. For me, the most important thing is get the product out the door. So I hope you enjoy what I've had to say here, and maybe this is useful for you. If not, that's okay too. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this.